Okay, guys, just give me a second. I'm gonna start sharing this with other groups. Should take me a few minutes here. Well, not a few minutes. It should be really fast, actually. Kind of. I'm really hoping for a more streamlined experience than what we kind of have right now. Also, I also now need to double check where did I exactly send those shares. Okay, Black Lotus MTG Arena players. There we go. So we can share it to a few. Okay, so community, Philippines, and Magic Arena MTG. Okay, so once I share it there, then we can begin. Maybe I should button my shirt up too. Yeah, I actually look like kind of a bit like a mess, so sorry about that one. But we'll do that when we are starting, which is right about now. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today we are going to be, well, it's Premier Draft of Crimson Vow again. So without further ado, actually it took me a while to grind the gold. That's why I'm kind of only starting now. Looks like not many people are drafting right now. That's how many Hey Jericho Lagan, thank you for liking the stream. About another 13 days and it's Christmas and probably another week after that and it's the new year. Things go by so time goes by way too fast. But you know what? It's okay. Hey Tim Sopkak, also thank you for liking the stream. How are you doing? Just a few more days and the year is gonna be over. And 3 mana, draw 3 cards. It's not a bomb. It's good, but it's not a bomb. If I had to take removal, it's going to be between a Braid and Valorous Stance. I actually want to try white. Hey, thank you for sharing the stream also. That means a lot. You bought the Oko bundle yesterday? Hey, that's neat. I kind of want to buy the bundle for the stickers, but I'm going to wait it out a bit. I actually could have just spent the gold right away, but I wanted to save it for this draft. We'll see what else we got. Thank you also for sharing the stream, Jericho. So, I'm taking Valorous Stance because this is probably more flexible as removal. It will miss the small stuff, but I also kind of want to try white. Now, red is also pretty much a good choice here. Nothing really spectacular. Blue is probably going to be overdrafted here. Green is probably a good choice, so that's kind of why I want to take white. It's pretty much good in those pivot colors there. And I guess we're going white-red. Rending Flame, also very good removal. In fact, I can go with one or the other and not be too unhappy to miss out on one or the other. That's pretty much the plan there. Soul Cipher board kind of needs help. Groom's Finery, it's fine. Cruel Witness is quite good. It looks like blue is going to be super open here, and I'm probably not going to contribute to cutting it down. Actually, it's probably better. At least we send a signal of where we're not going. Okay, there's Lacerate Flesh, which is not quite ideal as far as removal is concerned. If I have to take anything, it would probably be Griffwing Cavalry, though it is quite soft. It does have some training, but we will need some big creatures to go with it. Heron of Hope is an alternate option. I could always take Lacerate Flesh, but we kind of need some creatures to start out with. Actually, I've not been hearing good things about this. Usually the problem with creatures that are X2 is that it loses to even the lightest of removals. I could also just take Flourishing Hunter, which is probably the biggest bomb here. I think I'll take the Griffwing Cavalry for now. I really want to try white. And okay, we got some decent options. We can stick with white by going Piercing Light or even Arm the Cathars, though we have to remember that this is not +1/+1 counters. This is just a straight buff. So we need to have a lot of small creatures going forward if we take this. We're hoping that the Daybreak Combatants come back. Falcon Rat Celebrants is fine as a comeback. I can always take Piercing Light. It's a decent early removal spell. I'm going to take the Arm the Cathars for now. We'll see if we can start getting creatures. You just got off the Grand Blue Fantasy commentary streams earlier. You might do some drafts later tonight. Well, I hope... Well, that would be a great time. That would be a great time. I feel like we're now reaching the tail end of drafting at this point, so we probably won't be people will be looking forward to the cube drafts for the time being. Hello, game. Hold on. I'm gonna try running this through translate. After I make a pick here. It's either Epicure or Impulse. I think I want to take Epicure for this time because we do need more creatures over the Impulse right now. Adamant Will is fine. Yeah, I think I remember you. You've been asking out for what it takes to become a pro. Right now, I would say worry about becoming a good player first. Then worry about getting pro level afterwards. So good evening, Konbawa also. Good evening to you as well. I'm. Are you currently in Japan right now, or are you are you residing somewhere else? How do I say that in Japanese? Probably have to. Well, we do have some downtime, so I guess I can do that. No, I know. How are you, Sam? Konnichiwa. Wait, no, that's morning. Doko ni Iru no. There you go. Hey, we got the Griff Rider. Militia Rallier is probably the best pick here. Especially if you're gonna start getting training cards, you really want to have creatures with at least 3 power or higher. Lightning Wolf would also be a good pick here. But it looks like white is more open and we kind of need earlier drops here. Griff Rider, it's a flyer, but it's very soft. In fact, for that same reason, I might take Belligerent Guess. I guess we can take a Piercing Light. We have 2 pieces of removal already. Fearful Villager, not so much as the other way around. Although it does give us 4 power when it flips. I think we want the Belligerent Guest first. Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Piercing Light. That's the thing. Okay, now we can take a Paraspawn, which gives us something big. I can also just take Reckless Impulse because that's usually the weakness of White-Red, which is running out of cards. I think I would rather have more Reckless Impulses than Paraspawns over time. That's kind of the plan, at least. Also, the plan includes hydrating. Give me a second. Kampai. Hey, Vampire Slayer came back. That's pretty good. There's also a Bloody Betrayal, which is something we could do, but let's shore up our creature count first. We're currently at 4 and 4, which is not good for white-red aggro. We kind of want to build up to it later. Also, we got ourselves an Eswald Shield Basher, which is fine. And there's a Blood Servitor, which is also fine. I think we will take the Shield Basher for now. The only caveat with this is that it will die to even the smallest of removal if timed correctly. But if things go our way and our opponent doesn't have the response, then we should be able to get some value hits here. Okay, green is probably super open if Flourishing Hunter is this late. We'll take one on the side as speculation. There's a Weary Prisoner that I probably don't want to run, but we might as well take it. Massive Might, Honored Heirloom. Probably gonna take the Massive Might if ever. Hey! I think I have a playset already, so there's no reason for me to take this one. He's fine. 3 mana, but what are my 1, 2? That's it. So I don't have a real reason to take this, not even for the rares. Distracting Guys, I can take this or I can take Flame Blessed Bolt. I'm probably leaning toward the Bolt more. This is good, don't get me wrong. It just feels like it's at the wrong cost. Also, we could always use... We really need to prioritize cheap removal too. So we'll take a Flame Blessed Bolt. Oh, now we have to decide between Abrade and Circle of Confinement. I'm probably going to take the Abrade for this one. It's a shame we're passing Kindly Ancestor because that's probably one of the best white cards we can get. But we gotta take the removal first if we can. So we're taking the Braid early. And another Rending Flame. We're getting all the burn here. So at least we're solidly rewarded in red. Yeah, there's Voltaic Visionary, which is more of constructed than limited. This is something that you'd want to do in a deck where you have all the 4-offs and you can guarantee 1s and 2s that you can cast quickly. Also, the payoff is not so great. It's just 4-3 that can't block. Now, this is something that's relatively good. Curse of Hospitality. Everything has trample. Our creatures are unfortunately on the small side. But if we can set up good board positions, we can effectively draw a good number of cards. Also, I haven't picked a rare yet, so I might as well make this my first one. Nothing else is quite good here. So... Hajime mashite. Yeah, nice to meet you too. Yeah, I kind of wish there's an app that helps me do the translating quite quickly. Right now, I have to copy the text, then I have to go quickly to... Okay, so right now, definitely Blood Petal Celebrant here. Yeah, so I have to copy the text. I have to have a browser page open set on Google Translate. Okay. We're probably going to be mass red at this point. Yeah, we definitely need more creatures, so we're taking the other belligerent guest. Sure Strike is something we should be on the lookout for. Honeymoon Hearse is fine. Griff Rider is kind of fine. I might take the Pyre Spawn just to have something big. Yeah, let's take one Pyre Spawn just to have something big. The problem with Honeymoon Hearse is that if we run out of creatures, it does nothing. And right now, our creature count is kind of on the low side. Well, it's getting up higher now, but let's see. If I had to take one of these, it's probably going to be the Voldaren Epic here. There's the training guy, but again, our creatures that can buff it up, well, it will get one buff with our other creatures, but after that, it kind of needs the Militia Rallier or Eswald Shield Basher to start buffing up even higher. So even the Griffwing Cavalry is already questionable. It's pretty much there for giving other creatures flying. We'll take this. There's the Statuette. I'm not really happy with this, but I'm gonna take it anyway. Pyre Spawn goes well with Curse of Hospitality. Yeah, that was my one thought. It was the only, it's pretty much the one. Well, so do these Flourishing Hunters. Wow, we're being passed quite a lot of them. There's a Sanctify that we don't really need, but we'll take it. Yeah, we really have to focus on... We still have to focus on our early board right now. Our, like, 4 cards at 4, 5, and 6 slots starting to feel quite a lot. I might end up cutting something there. Our tree count is kind of way too high for my liking. There's a Bloody Betrayal. We'll remember that we have one. Sure Strike's actually fine. Again, my issue is we might have way too many non-creature spells. Oh no. Oh no. That's a good rare, but I have to pass it. Ballista Watcher is probably going to be my pick for reals. Oh wow. We're giving away so many rares. That's fine. So whoever we're passing to, I hope you enjoy the Overcharge Amalgam. I might reconsider the Arm the Cathars at this point, but well, I got another Flameless Bolt and another Belligerent Guest. There's an Unholy Efficient, which I am not too enthused with. We already have 2 Belligerent Guests. Let's do our sanity check on our removal. 1, 2, 3, kind of. 4, 5, 6. Okay, 6 pieces of removal might do it. We'll take the Belligerent Guest here. Another Griffwing Cavalry. We're more like the... Oh, Traveling Minister. Passing the Inspired Idea, but we really have to take cards that help us win here. Now, it's a Prince format. They usually dictate the game flow. Unfortunately, the ones that we're getting are... The Overcharge Amalgam was the really good rare in all the rares that we've opened so far. I guess we can also have Curse of Hospitality as one as well. Oh wow, now we have to decide, do we have enough wolves? No, we only have one werewolf. So Runebound Wolf's not going to do much. I might have to take the vampires. It's white again. Our white, we want to go... we're going to go mostly red, so I might actually just take the Runebound Wolf. So Arm the Cathars is probably still in, but questionable. Now there is hope that in Crimson Vow, in the sense that it's actually a very good format if neither player has a bomb rare. However, we have to assume that once we get to 4, 5, 6, that's pretty much what we're going to run into. Probably need to take a Heron Blessed Geist at this point. There's an Adamant Will, which is fine. It might be better than Sure Strike in this case, but I'm trying to minimize the amount of white I'm taking at this point. Unfortunately, I guess we now take the Adamant Will. There's another Pyre Spawn, but I think two might be too many at this point. I probably will not run the Ceremonial Knife because, for reasons, we'll just... There's another Sure Strike. Ancestral Anger is fine, but we have way too many non-creature spells as it is. Okay, wait, there's actually a third epic here? We need to decide, do we want another epic here? Flame Breeder might work here because of the number of non-creature spells we have. It's worth a try taking anyway. We're passing so many Ancestral Angers to someone, so someone's gonna be very pleased. Heron Blessed Geist, probably my underperformer. Yeah, it's you'd have to be closer to like a white-black control or a white-blue control deck. If you're an aggro deck, it's very unlikely to play. It's still a flyer though, so yeah, we do need to make cuts. We can cut one creature and two non-creatures. We know we're going mostly for red here. That's our slant. In fact, if we can cut one white and two red, we can go 10-7. So the question is, what's our most underperforming white creature? It's either the Griffin Cavalry or the Heron Blessed Geist. I think I'm willing to keep the Cavalry and exile the Geist. Yeah, we need to cut down our 4, 5, 6, so I'm willing to cut more closer to the 4. Which probably means we cut the Arm the Cathars as well, because it helps our mana at least. We can go 10-7 this way. We need the Reckless Impulse. We can probably cut the Sure Strike. We can probably cut the Sure Strike at this point. I don't want to cut Reckless Impulse. I can also just leave it at 41. It's a bit random, but it is a shot. So let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave this as a 41 card deck. It's a bit of Geist because not enough enchantments. Which Geist? Heron Blessed Geist. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much that would be my cut here actually. So yeah, so at least we know we're in agreement. Although it doesn't quite need enchantments, but even yeah, it is a bit on the lackluster end. Also considering that we really want to rely on our early drops, that's pretty much the plan. Don't know if we can. We have to also be careful of the hands we keep, because that's the nature of the game we're gonna play. If we are gonna go aggro, we really have to make sure we have aggro. So we're looking for turn 2, turn 3 plays. Turn 1 is optional, but it's ideal, especially if we have the Epicure early. And we have none of that here. We have a Curse of Hospitality and a Rending Flame. I'm so tempted to keep this just because we have a Ballista Watcher and a Shield Basher, but this feels really bad. I'm tempted to mulligan this if it were not for the fact that our mana is quite good already. We'll take the risk. We'll just consider this as a gimme if we lose this one. That's sometimes how it goes. Punished. It's my fault. I'll take responsibility for that. We'll start with Belligerent Guest first because we do need to have some attackers. Our opponent will swing, will take. Let's see if our opponent has a follow-up. Resistance Squad. I can just play Ballista Watcher, which does threaten our opponent's board. The only caveat is that this is a 4-3, which dies to almost all our opponent's early removal. We did play a land already, so we're going to swing. See if our opponent... Okay, opponent's not going to block. The reason I'm playing the Ballista Watcher over the Shield Basher is because it's not going to block the Celebrant anyway. Creepy Puppet here, so that's a good... So now I have to decide, do I block the Creepy Puppet here? Or do I take 8? Also, the problem is it's 3 mana to activate this, so... We're hitting our mana now, which is kind of good news. Oh, we should not have played that land. Yeah, holding up the Rending Flame. It will be bad if our opponent does have that werewolf in particular. I could have just played the Shield Basher. Trade it with Resistance Squad if it gets to that. I'm gonna take the hit for now. I'll be surprised if our opponent really doesn't play anything. Drogskull Infantry. Ugh, that's bad. Let's see what's his follow-up. Ceremonial Knife, that's okay. Land. Yeah, unfortunately, if I play Rending Flame, the Drogskull Infantry is still gonna be up. Need to decide, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna swing first again, see if our opponent trades with the Drogskull Infantry. So we get to play Pyre Spawn now. Opponent's gonna crack for their second red source. Probably their own Pyre Spawn, which would be a problem. We can then chuck the Also remember, if we can get this to die, we can snipe another creature. But we're gonna be taking 4. Equips in the Celebrant, which I have no intention of blocking. Markov Retribution. Ooh. Okay. Is our opponent just gonna attack for 4? Okay, we'll take 4. Remember not to play anything because we're gonna play Curse of Hospitality. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see if our opponent is careless and just blocks with 1. Opponent incidentally had the spirit and we got there. Now, that was super risky, I admit. If our opponent had blocked with the spirit, I would have burned it immediately. If our opponent had blocked with the resistance squad, I might have let it go or to some sort of effect. Our opponent did the most ideal thing for us, which was to not block. And yeah, there we go. First win, first blood. Knights. Actually, I think what happened was the Curse of Hospitality kind of dissuaded our opponent from blocking because the damage was going to go through anyway. Okay, so this is more convincing. Turn 1, hold up Flame Blessed Bolt. Turn 2, Blood Petal Celebrant. Turn 2, 3. We'll need to decide if we go Guest or Rallier. I think we go Rallier here. Also, the interesting thing is if our opponent's just going for the statuette, we have the Flame Blessed Bolt to... Okay. That also kind of ruins things a bit. If our opponent should be suspicious about this. Yeah, not suspicious enough. Though they can get it back. Yeah, you need mana to sack blood tokens, and the Gluttonous Guest doesn't have an alternate way, so... Yep, you're not getting it. They might actually let it go. Yeah, they're gonna let it go. Opponent's spidey sense is tingling. I could have also gone for Guest Epicure, but we can save that for another time. Because another ideal play would just be Guest Hold Up Bolt. Opponent discarding... Oh, they might be stuck on lands if they're discarding the Rancouture. Or... Okay, they drew into it now. Can we take damage? Yeah, I guess we can take the 3 damage. It's fine. Now, let's see if our opponent has Vampire's Vengeance. Nope. Courier Bath. Oh, nice combo. So, target a creature to untap, probably the Cavalry. Training. No, we're gonna decline the pay 1. We'll see how our opponent blocks. They might give up the Guest this time. Oh, that's fine. Oh, they're gonna make sure it dies. Okay, so in that case... I kind of want to play Yeah, let's play Minister Epic here. Then hold up the Flame Blessed Bolt. We are now kind of threatening our opponent with the Griffin Cavalry in the air. Opponent goes Diagraph Scavenger. They'll go back up to 9. Okay, sure. Hold on. Target a creature to untap. We can untap the Traveling Minister to pump something else again on our own turn. I think I'm probably gonna just untap the Militia Rallier, pump, and auto pay. Sends our opponent down to 1. Then Kessig Flame Breeder threatens lethal. Opponent doesn't have much going yet. Yeah, well, in this case, the engine was very slow. Well, our opponent's going to start gaining some life. But they need to answer the flyer. They need to answer probably a larger creature. Just going to take... Because if they can't answer, it should be easy to answer the flyer, Lacerate Flesh, but they don't have the mana for it anymore. Okay, so they're just going for life gain. There we go, that's it. And the opponent concedes. Yeah, we got, yeah, our opponent ran out of gas. No, it's not that they ran out of gas. They had a good engine. We were just too aggro in that case. If our opponent needed to have earlier board presence. Though they need to have an earlier board presence than that. So yeah, it's aggro early or die. That's kind of our... It's not a game plan I want to do. You kind of want to have something that can reliably go into the late game, but that's kind of the colors we're in right now. If you're going red-white, you kind of want to go super early aggro. Plus minus a few things. We're keeping this only because we have a Vampire Slayer. And this is whenever it deals damage to a vampire, so... Okay, maybe not quite. So we're gonna run Kessig Flame Breeder first because it can kind of block Blood Petal Celebrant. If our opponent attacks, it means they have something. Alluring Suitor. We'll pass for now. Only because I'm super... So that was kind of risky. I should have probably done it on my own turn when they were untapped. Oh, it even skipped their attack altogether. So that's quite good. Now we need to decide if I want to hold up the Rending Flame for this one or hold it for something better. We have a Lacerate Flesh anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the Vampire Slayer. We need another red source soon. I could also have Song of the Flame Breeder, ask if they want a double block. But we're probably going to get more value. Gluttonous Guest again, wow. So knowing that's the situation, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to swing with the Vampire Slayer see if we can scare our opponent into not blocking. The correct play is to... Okay, because the correct play is actually just to double block because only one gluttonous guest would die. Though I can also foresee that the reason our opponent's not going to do that is because they can gain the life back anyway. So we're going to go for Pyre Spawn next turn, or Rending Flame if we need to. They have their own Lacerate Flesh, which is fine. I can't freely swing with this one actually, because at 6 mana up, it's really gonna scare our opponent. Now this is not exactly a perfect play because our opponent could easily have removal in these colors. Like a Bleed Dry would be really bad, but that is how it is. Opponent does have functionally 25 life. So we're kind of hoping for the curse so that the Pyre Spawn can start punching through. Opponent gonna pass. Also, another thing we can do is if our opponent threatens removal, some kind of removal on this, we can just Rending Flame our own Pyre Spawn, which is, yeah, really bad. Bleed Dry. Yeah, I figured they'd have a Bleed Dry, but at least we got rid of it. Also, I should probably stop playing lands. I should stop playing lands at this point. I need to start discarding stuff. Wow, triple Gluttonous Guest. I'm going to fire one off now just to get it to convince our opponent to. Okay, okay, that's fine. That's just a net too. Opponent has a Restless Bloodseed. Oh wow, they got the combo. We still have an Abrade at least. But now we're in real trouble here. Our opponent hit their combo. Okay, I guess it's time to start using this. That was very slow. Now we need to start flooding the board. Yeah, this is how that engine deck should work. This is the particular good engine. The one with the statuette, not quite the good engine. I actually don't mind if our opponent just they're probably gonna just use this instead. It's because they gain life and it's, well, they don't get to drain us. Opponent is still cracking. Wow, they hit all their lands. Yeah, we made the mistake of playing that one land earlier. That would have been that could have been a free draw for us. Now, at the beginning of your end step, so that's gonna transform. Yeah, opponent has no reason to attack. We did hit our Griffwing Cavalry. Now, we're gonna have. It's gonna take a while to actually grow this one, and with the cards we have right now, it's actually not ideal. I would have to sure strike something before swinging. Yeah, gluttonous guest try. It's not just the gluttonous guest. It's the restless bloodseeker is what makes the gluttonous guest really work. So good job on our opponent for seeing the line. My hope is to live long, and if our opponent keeps on cracking the blood, my hope is that we live long enough that our opponent mills himself. But that's kind of unlikely. Also, we did use 3 of our 6 functional pieces of removal. Opponent is now going for that, and they're not going to even attack. Yeah, this is kind of our catch-up plan. Not a great one, though. This might take as a game, this might take quite a while. They're actually discarding Voldaren Epic here. I think they're looking for a specific card, so that's probably bad news for us. And see if our opponent has a response. They probably do. Sure strike. Oh, well, they trade. It's not too bad. Ragged Recluse. Okay. Wow, this is a really good draft deck for our opponent. Whoever handed this to our opponent in a silver platter deserves to be flogged. So next turn, ideally, if our opponent swings with the Odious Witch, I probably will still block with the Belligerent Guest rather than take the 3 damage. So that's something we might have to do. Wow. Yeah, we're gonna have... Let's see if they have another Sure Strike. Nope. They have their own Belligerent Guest. And a Blood Petal Skeleton. Okay, so we need to hit something big. That's not it. We'll take that. So I can only swing with the Griffwing Cavalry because we used up quite a bit of our mana to make it stuff fly. So the plan now is to get this to flip into Night. Hopefully our opponent did not draw into removal. And we need to start sniping things. Oh, come on! One, two, three, four. Yeah, we just... Come on! Having the... That's so unfair! Well, then again, we'll have to make do with it. Okay, there's a Valorous Stance that we could have used a turn earlier. Yeah, because... Okay, we'll pass. The problem with passing is our opponent just activates their ability. We're hoping our opponent gets a little bit antsy enough that we can kind of use the Valorous stance. Okay, opponent is getting antsy. We can also use it to snipe a Gluttonous Guest, actually. Yeah, our opponent had a really good draft. This is kind of like our consolation prize, but it's super late. So I would be forced to hold back just to block this one. Though if it flips... Hold on, if it transform... Okay. Yeah, we needed that Ballista Watcher to survive. Like, unbelievable. Drawing into the second bleed dry. Oh, they have Toxrill as well. Okay, we can concede. Actually, no, we don't have to concede. Because they can't play it this turn. So we just need to stabilize our board more or less. Reckless Impulse might do it. Our Reckless Impulse would not do it. Yeah, our opponent... Aren't we glad they milled their own Toxrill? But now they played the card that's gonna flip. Thankfully we bought the turn. We have one turn bought with it. We're gonna take another 2 damage though. When it's down to 11 cards. 10 cards.
You can deal with my servant.
And I can't even block this. Yes. Yeah, we have an opponent that used up... I think they used up all their luck. They probably should not leave the house tomorrow. If they used up all their luck right now... Okay, you know what? We're just going to concede this one. Our opponent is a... Look... Yeah, this is a good game, this one. Let's save our opponent the trouble. It's just unfortunate, but that's sometimes how things land. Actually, I'm more annoyed that our opponent top decked a second bleed dry over our opponent landing Sorin. That's the one other thing that annoyed me. So here's to not having a bomby draft in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, hopefully. Actually, is there anything we could have done to shore up that match? Nothing really. We have a few... We only have 6 vampires, so Markov Retribution is possible, but... Actually, this is possible. This counts as another removal. We do have some vampires. But what would I cut for it? I'm already running the 41 card special. I think I would rather not cut this right now. I would rather have removal I'm sure would land versus removal that might not land because our opponent sneaks under it somehow. So I guess we're just gonna have to aggro early again. Let's see if we can make it past. Yeah, hey Dustin, ma'am, that deck was insane. That's a very polite way to put it. It's very polite, maybe even a little... That's also kind of underrated as well. Also to think that our opponent milled their own Toxrill. I was between the Toxrill and the Sorin, our opponent had to have a very good packed pack 1 and pack 2 open. They had to have opened those in 2 out of 3 of their opening packs. Well, sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. But at least with the gameplay we're doing, we can show that how to survive long enough when it doesn't happen. And I'm actually quite pleased that we survived quite long enough. 2 mythics on the same deck, yeah. Okay, we're definitely keeping this because we have early plays between the Celebrant and the Flame Breeder. We kind of need another land. We are running the 41 card special, so there is a likelihood we don't draw into it, but we'll see. Okay, we did draw into another land, so we'll play first. Our opponent could have a counter spell. This could easily be a Syncopate, but you know what? Let's make them use it up. If they have the Syncopate, let's make them use it up right away. I'd rather lose it on the Guest than on the Ballista Watcher. There we go, Syncopate. All according to Kate. Actually, I need to be careful because, okay, there's an exploit. Is he gonna exploit? No, he's not gonna exploit. Oh, opponent's doing the 3-color special. So most likely the bomb is in one of the off colors. I'm speculating the bomb is in black. I'm only doing that so that we can get a swing early. If our opponent blocks, I'm actually fine with that. Because we still get some damage in, we get a blood token if we need to start, because we need to start hitting our land drops. I'm willing to discard something just to make it. All that Piper's a thing. But our opponent's about to drop big stuff. Oh, I would not call that big stuff though. It is scary though. Also, so if I were to play one of these, probably the Vampire Slayer because it trades with the Archghoul. End of turn, I'm definitely gonna sack this blood. You know what? Actually, I think I would sack this blood token now. Let's discard the Kesset Flame Breeder. Let's see when it goes Thirst for Discovery. Okay. Hey, we hit the land. Let's see if we can hit another one for Lacerate Flesh, but otherwise we're probably just Flourishing Hunter. We hit a Shield Breaker, but I might actually go for the Griffwing Cavalry first and hold back. My concern is if our opponent has back-to-back Flourishing Hunters. Actually, our opponent can also just put the Gutter Shortcut on the Flourishing Hunter. That's a very good target for it. Our plan would have to be to overrun our opponent. Our opponent might also want to snipe the Griffwing Cavalry because that's kind of how I fly over the opponent, I guess. Opponent's looking at cards in the retrieve. Gets back Howlpack Piper. I actually feel like getting Howlpack Piper is probably not... It's cool, but you have so much mana already that it kind of doesn't do much. But since our opponent is so intent on keeping that, we're gonna humor our opponent. Next turn we'll probably just do Ballista. We'll probably do Ballista Watcher. Actually, if our opponent doesn't cast anything like that, I'm concerned our opponent might have a counterspell, but I can't really do anything about it, so here we go. We might end of turn discard the Estwald Shield Basher, but probably not. The plan would be to... Opponent's saying good game. Did they run out of things to do? Or do they have a rat effect? Well, they're missing the white, so no, they ran out of things to do. Whew! All according to... Yeah, I was... Actually, I need to know if what that actually means. I need to check what that means. Okay, so it's... Okay, okay. So it's just a weird... It was just a weird translation thing. It's a funny one though. I'll admit it's actually quite fun. Okay, so let's see if we can get wins number 4 and 5 and even beyond, but one win at a time. Yeah, that was a very... Last week I played a guy who had 6 removal spells and played in 8 turns. 3 were Hero's Downfall. Oh wow. Sometimes you have to wonder if that is not coming without cost. Well, not gameplay cost. There's none like that, but like... Okay. I'm trying... Pack Song Pup. Okay. We are getting the belligerent guest special, so... I might just do guest into Watcher. Oh wow, it's just wolves. I'm actually going to wait for that to grow big enough, but I might also just block with Belligerent Guest if it comes to that. Curse of Hospitality will have to wait a bit, but ideally you want to use it for one big creature anyway. Let's see if our opponent has the Upbraid. Not quite yet. Opponent has Child of the Path. If he swings, no, does not swing. And let's just get rid of that now. We're gonna have to swing because our opponent is... Okay, there we go. So next turn we can see what our opponent does. Because now this is quite big enough that we are forced to cast Rending. Well, technically we can wait one more turn. Okay, they're gonna cast a spell. Weary Prisoner. Oh wow. Now we are incentivized to not flip. That said, we do have plays, but this might be concerning. Yeah, opponent goes back to 20, so that hurt us quite a bit. Ballista Watchers, unfortunately not big enough. Oh, they're going for that. Okay. That's fine. So we're gonna have to force our opponent to be the one to flip theirs. They had the Lacerate Flesh. Ooh. Ooh. Now we're drawing cards. Let's see if we can scare our opponent. They might have the removal, which is probably going to be annoying, but I'm just gambling that they don't. Dodge that one, but they could have more, which is another problem. Fortunately, oh, they're starting to flood a bit though. We'll swing first, see if our opponent blocks. Nope, take it. Nice Daybreak Combatants. When's our timing? Until end of turn, so I have to cast it now. Yeah. So at least we now have kind of a full board to... Our opponent will start drawing our cards. That's a problem. I'm going to have to take that risk though, because yeah, if I'm going to take that risk, I'm not blocking. Also, I would comment, I would not discard first because you don't know if their opponent has a 5-drop. Okay, they had a 4-drop. Wow, that's annoying. Let's swing first. He might just let it go. If he blocks, it's going to be super weird. It's actually to his benefit to not block. There you go. Thank you. Oh, now I have to assume one of these is a combat trick. Oh, it should be this one, because if they don't have the I figured they would have the combat trick. That's the only reason they'd attack. But now let's see if we can deal enough damage. We are 1 short. And that's considering the Voldaren Epicure already. Oh wait, no, that's enough. Sorry, just want to send a message. Yeah, I'm just playing around with the opponent. I'm really sorry. But there you go. That is a... Yeah, because when both people have Curse of Hospitality, is it worth it to leave a blocker anymore at that point? You're just kind of swinging for defenses already. Well, technically, I still had some defense, though. I have to thank our opponent for that Flourishing Hunter. Without it, we probably would have lost that game. And that's sweet. 4 wins. Let's keep going. Pretty much just have to... Yeah, some matches there's just no defense. It's actually suits us more as the red-white deck versus the... though our opponent's deck was actually pretty aggro in that part. I think our opponent made a few weird plays, like trading off the Weary Prisoner. That one's kind of weird. I'm actually trying to remember if he drafted enough blood. Because we were getting the celebrant guest. The guests I kind of expect. Let's see if our opponent has syncopate. Oh no, they have some. They might have something else. Oh, they probably have fated retribution. Let's see if Let's see if he fires it. If our opponent fires it off right away. Fierce retribution. Sorry. I'm perfectly fine with that. It does slow down our tempo a bit, but that's one less removal spell for me to worry about. That said, I now need to draw gas. Opponent goes Kindly Ancestor. Let's see if our opponent blocks. Actually, it doesn't matter because it has trample anyway. Yeah, opponent didn't block. But we're gonna fire this off now before our opponent gets any ideas. Also, because if our opponent has another creature and they just drop this on top of it, Lacerate Flesh should deal with both of them. Kinda want to play Curse of Erstwhile Shield back. Oh wow, that's a good one to snipe. So we're gonna delay the yeah, we got so much blood and nothing to do with it. Ooh, it's nice, but it can only. Oh, that's our opponent. Okay. Let's see if our okay opponent lets it go. We're gonna swing it to guess. Opponent might have a they don't have the Fierce Retribution, but they do have something. Talia is nice. Now you wish you're running the tribal. True. But the blood tokens are still not wasted on us. The moment you start drawing a glut of lands after land number 6, actually even then, because we have reckless well, we kind of neutered our reckless impulse, but oh wow. If we don't have the cards, maybe our opponent does. Let's play the Kindly Ancestor first because that benefits us more. Borrow your opponent's creatures. Well, and our opponent's Wandering Spirit can't block, so it's better off just flying. Opponent probably needs a combat trick, but our opponent has to take the cost into account as well. And we get the free training too. Oh, they have a pump. Wait, no. No, it's not looking good. They have to block the bill. Well, I don't have a trick. I might have a trick after the Talia draw, though. But let's see. Our opponent probably has some... Yeah, that's fine. Let's see what Talia does. That's maybe that draws... Nope. Planes. Okay. Draw 2 cards. Okay, let's play the planes. We have their own Fierce Retribution that we're not going to play. We can exploit to draw a card. I guess we do want to exploit to draw a card. I'm not playing the Fierce Retribution because we can outpace our opponent in terms of gas. Another Belligerent Guess is good. Actually, no. We're gonna just play the Runebound Wolf and pass. The thing is, between our opponent can gain some life off with the flying, but we're okay with that. The plan is sneak enough damage through so that we can 1-2 with the Runebound Wolf. Opponent needs to drop additional stuff because they're not going to survive this first wave as it is. Red light monster. Oh, that's not gonna do it. Yeah, opponent sees it. Opponent sees it and concedes. Whew. Yeah, we didn't get to use the blood tokens this time, but that was quite. But nonetheless, I'm actually kind of happy with how the gameplay went. Okay, let's keep going. We made it to 5-1. I think the most we made it was we made it 5-1 or 4-1. Yeah, we made it to 5-1. I think the most we made was 6 wins. That was close. But let's see. Yeah, Curse is doing very good work. Oh, need some more water. I actually need to start filling up. Yeah. Turns out that we were bemoaning that we did not have any big bombs. It turns out Curse is... We didn't have the big bombs, but we had the bomb that we needed. And we could always just borrow our opponent's bombs. I already now know the thumbnail I'm gonna do for this one. It's gonna be the Mom, I want this, but we have that at home. And that at home is Curse just borrowing it from our opponents. That's doing well, no turn 2 this time, but we do have a solid turn 3 and we do have our colors, so... We know our turn 2 is on kind of the light end, so... Turn 3, turn 4 is our key level. Pack Song Pup, so at least the belligerent... Well, that's a turn 2. Could have used it earlier, but hey, can't win them all. We'll see what our opponent's follow-up is. Usually... Oh, it's Guest. So, our opponent could have a Bleed Dry, which would be really annoying, but let's get it out of the way sooner rather than later. I can swing at Belligerent Guest just to snipe the Pack Song Pup, but that feels super bad. Especially when you consider we have the Watcher on as a play. Okay, they don't have the mana for... They don't have the mana for Bleed Dry. That's the good news. They also don't have the mana for Hero's Downfall, so I'll take that as well. I will comment that yeah, they probably had way too many lands if they played their land first. If they were looking for a specific color, I would probably have cracked that first before playing it. Yeah, we're just gonna machine gun this now. See if our opponent has a response, which is web. Okay, so it's a good thing we did not swing. And let's flip it to celebrate. Opponent now has the mana for Bleed Dry. They're going for Ancient Lumber Knot instead. Thankfully, the wielder is still big enough, but... I want to see how our opponent blocks. Hold on. Yeah, it's a shame we have to use this now. We'll save the Rending Flame for later. We're missing the drop for Power Spawn, but no real rush to that. My main concern is probably going to be the Cemetery Desecration. Remove. Oh, what did they... X2. Okay, we lose the Belligerent Guest. That's fine. I need to decide if I want to snipe the Lumberknot or the Desecrator at this point. Technically, I could also swing at the Bloodset Petal Celebrant. Yeah, opponent's not gonna take it. It's an on-board trick. So we do have time. If our opponent plays that particular one, we do have some time. Our opponent might have a trick for this one, but if they pump it, that's actually fine. So it comes back. Sporeback Wolf. Just to flip it back, that's fine. I can pass first before casting Rending Flame, since our opponent's down to 1 card. Actually, so in that case, we swing first. Opponent is forced to block. Pass the turn. Yeah, so oh, he's holding one back because he's convinced he doesn't have enough to kill. That's a Hookhand Mariner, which comes in at night mode. And opponent concedes. I don't know what. Well, they have assumed that I have something in. Oh yeah, because I can swing with both and I can just ping for the remaining points of damage. So there we go. We actually got there. Opponent was running, might have the Amalgam. Very not possible, but not necessarily, because we have to remember that this is. We have to remember that we are in league play. Also, causes potential blockers can't block. Oh wow, yeah, that's right. It has that extra. It has the extra ability. Wow. That's correct. That's a good point. Though we don't know if that opponent is necessarily the one we passed the Amalgam to, because this is league play. It's not. We're not necessarily gonna play any of the people in that same pod. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the likelihood is low unless it takes a while for the pod to fire. So opponent does get the jump on us by going first. Turn to Runebound Wolf. We'll go Blood Petal Celebrant. If our opponent swings, I probably will still block anyway. Because Militia Rallier, okay, they might have removal for this. Kind of fine though. Okay. Usually in that scenario, let's force them to use the removal while it doesn't matter. Their tricks when it doesn't matter. Massive Might, good. They used it when it does get trampled though, but I'll take it because it's not necessarily what we call a lethal play. Yeah, knowing this, we actually need another red mana here. I will say that we're probably in trouble though. There is an argument for, say, Daybreak Combatants. They'll probably swing with just one. Let's see if they have the second one. Again, if they have it, let's get it out of the way. They do. Wow. Okay, we did. So we did force them to use their combat tricks up right away. Though it... Okay, they... Ballista Watch... Now it's their turn to have a Ballista Watcher. Okay, so we need... We kind of need the mana soon, so... We also need to keep casting spells, so Reckless Impulse. Not ideal. We do have one turn before we need to cast them. Ideally, our opponent decides to do nothing to flip it. Yeah, if he's just gonna spend mana on that, it's basically do nothing. I'm perfectly fine with that. It does mean we're forced to play the two spells on the next turn. Opponent goes Flourishing Hunter. That's probably a better target. I have no idea what just happened. Well, it's not over for our opponent either. We're still living off the top as well. Ancestral Anger. Okay, draw a card. Pack Song Pup. Fine. Yeah, that kind. Yeah, we're just gumming up the board a bit. I can swing with the Belligerent Guest. I'm perfectly okay with that. Because the smaller board is better for the player with more. Okay, looks like our opponent is down to, well, this is still a threat though. And so is the Pack Song Pup unless we can answer it relatively soon. We are gonna run out of time on that. Unfortunately, our creatures are on the small side. We're gonna need to hit one of our bigger guns. Although we technically have only one big gun. Like, sure, I could swing with everyone, but everyone's just gonna die at that rate, so it's probably not worth it. Yeah, we're still missing that one more land to make Pyre Spawn work. Problem is, our opponent will have the time to dome us quite a bit, so we actually need to answer. Wow, we have multiple cards to answer between the Pack Song Pup and the Root. So this is a case our opponent had a very good draft. Like, all their cards pretty much lined up. The Massive Mites lined up in time. We're probably gonna lose this game. because we allowed our life total to go so low, and we can't do anything about this Runebound Wolf. Like, even if we swing with the Power Spawn, actually our best bet would be swing with the Power Spawn and hit something off the top. Well, I'll take the Lacerate Flesh too. But first we'll swing with the Power Spawn. It's most likely our opponent just takes it. Let's see, what cards do they hit off the top. I might have to... Opponent gets to fire it off one more time. So now we're at the precarious tree life. Our opponent might stop swinging with Pack Song Pup at this point as well. Okay. Hungry Ridge Wolf. Okay. Actually, my concern would be another Runebound Wolf. We can start doing the same thing to our opponent. Okay, no trample. That can pump. My concern is that our opponent might have another Massive Might, but I can't really do anything about it. Like, if I were to put all the blocks there, it's not looking great. I can throw the Flame Breeder to soak up some damage. Okay, didn't have it. Still kind of sketchy though. Okay, so that's it. Also, I could end step and ping again on your turn. Yeah, that's looking to be a play. Wow, I don't know that good game, but too close. Our opponent had a very good early start. They just unfortunately fizzled in the end. It's just a... So let's see if we can make our... Oh wait, that was it? Okay. I've been having so much fun. I did not realize that was the last game. But you know what? We'll take it. Wait, let's double check. Is that really 7? Is it 7? Yeah, it's 7 wins. We'll take it. We made our first 7-0. I'm very happy. We can now quit. No, just kidding. We'll keep giving you the best gameplay as much as we can, but that's gonna be it for this episode. So that's gonna be it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run. If you like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications and whatnot. I really enjoyed chatting with you guys. Nice cigar, the summons. Thank you so much, Dustin Mam, Jericho Ilagan, Tim Salkak for tuning in. Thank you, game. Hold on, I need to get how to read this in Japanese. Thank you. Game Mayu, or is it Meisuke? But thank you very much to you guys for tuning in. I'm glad to share this moment with you guys. And yes, it's possible to win with just one rare. If you can borrow your opponent's rares, that would help a lot also. Anyway, so there you go. That's gonna be it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. I wish you guys all a great rest of the year. But that won't be the end of me for this year. Yeah, you'll still see more of me, but that will be another time. Anyway, let's see what our last rares are. I'll take a mythic wildcard. And creepy puppeteer. There we go. So thank you guys so much. See you guys again next time. Have a great day.